All right, man. I just got through watching episode 3 of Alien Earth. My first vibe off of watching it was I kind of wish they had released 3 episodes instead of the two, just because there wasn't much in terms of action. Not that that's all that matters in a show like this, because the world building and the characters are very interesting. But it had a slower pace to it, but overall there were a few interesting things that I'm going to break down without getting into heavy spoilers. First thing, it picks up right from the cliffhanger from the previous episode, like literally cliffhanger, and it's more focused on the synthetics and how they are now coping after facing some of the specimens that were on the ship that crashed. We see Nibs is going through something where she feels traumatized because it literally attacked her and tried that little tentacle eyeball thing try to probe her or rip her face off. And you have to remember that they're in adult bodies, but they're still kids in there. So she's also going through this trauma of remembering herself as a child, which the way it's shot, Noah Hawley, the director, I love the way he conveys a message using the image and the way the sequences and the way they transition, and it's really thought-provoking. It says a lot without saying anything, but they kind of show that she's envious of the main synth, which is Wendy, because she gets to keep her name. And I thought that was a little sad that she's like, why did I have to change my name to Nibs and she gets to keep Wendy? And she's also, you'll see her throughout the episode staring into mirrors. Reflections are getting to her, and it's a very existential thing that she's experiencing. And then you have Curly, who is more showing signs of jealousy as well. And it's also because of favoritism towards Wendy that she feels that the prodigy child, what's his name, Boy Cavalier, that he chooses Wendy as his favorite, and she wants to be the favorite. She thinks that she could be better. She thinks that she could be better than the boy genius himself. So she's displaying ambition, right? And that may be her downfall, I think, because you want to surpass the kid who thinks that no one is smarter than him. Even though in the first episode or in the second episode, when he was talking to Dame Sylvia, he did say that he just wants someone as smart as him so he can have a conversation. Very arrogant, but very deep level at the same time. So we see that. And then with Smee and Slightly, the other two synthetics who were left on the ship to guard the eggs, which I think were the main focus of the episode as well. Those eggs. There, I find the most childish, with Smee being my least favorite. I find the acting, I think the actor's name is Jonathan Ajayi. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But I find that his acting as a child is a little over the top, and just it kind of pulls me out of the dark atmosphere of the story. But I do find that the actor who plays Slightly, he doesn't overdo it, but it's enough, and he doesn't look that old either. I guess it's because he doesn't have as much facial hair as Smee, but he doesn't overdo it to the point where he's annoying. And he actually plays a big part in this also, because they're confronted by the cyborg on the ship, Morrow, and that's a very intense scene where you're not sure if he's gonna shoot them or he's gonna harm them. But once he finds out that they're kids, he doesn't do anything bad to them, but he just wants to ask this riddle: when is a machine not a machine? And he whispers that to Slightly at one point. And then Kirsch arrives and Morrow backs away and escapes, and he's not found until later on. Well, not found by Prodigy. We just see him a bit later on in the episode. So that riddle echoes throughout the entire episode. When is a machine not a machine? I like that question very much. So we also have this moment in the first half where Wendy is trying to save her brother who was snatched up from one of the xenomorphs. And something happens that I didn't know was possible. And I think this might be Noah Hawley's twist on the xenomorphs, which, along with the look that has that more deep space, black, shiny, chrome, metallic look. It's really, some people don't like how polished the look of the xenomorph is, but I think there's a reason for it. And I personally find it creepier because whenever I see like these videos of UFOs, the ones with the bright lights and, that doesn't disturb me. What creeps me out are the ones that just look like dark metal, like dark twisted, no uniform shape. It's just black and rusty. That is more menacing. So I kind of like the look of the xenomorph, but it did something interesting. Its hunting abilities were shown in a way that I've never seen before. And if anyone has seen this in any of the previous Alien movies, please let me know in the comments. The xenomorph set a trap. I won't go into heavy details, but it set a trap and did not do something that it normally does, where like if you see a lion attacking its prey, pun intended, does it spare its prey to lure another potential prey into a trap? That was very fascinating. When you see that clip, if you haven't seen it already, or if you have seen it, drop a comment and let me know your thoughts. And if you're at this point in the video, please like and subscribe, especially like, because this is new for me and I'd really appreciate it. It really helps with my algorithm so I could keep this going. I love doing this, and I'm up every single day putting out content for everyone and just getting better at it. So anything you guys can do, a little like, a little comment, it's just a little click of the button, greatly appreciated. Okay, let's keep it moving. I caught a little something in there that I call the Ironheart mistake, because I think in the trailer for Ironheart, a lot of people called out this moment where you see Riri's character trying to break out of an elevator. So she pulls like the control panel out, and she takes wires and she bites into the wire so that she could break it apart. And then everyone online was like, yeah, really smart. A girl who's a genius bites into a live wire and doesn't get electrocuted. So we kind of see that happen in this episode also. You'll see the moment. Maybe there's something I missed that made that possible, but just a little funny thing I wanted to throw in. And another thing I picked up, which once again, please someone explain this to me. There's when we see Morrow again, which I like that we got to see the city, Nusium, I believe it's called, as opposed to being inside the lab or inside of the ship. We got to see the city at night. Definitely has that whole Blade Runner vibe to it. But we see him snatch food off of a vendor's table and eat it. So if he's a cyborg, cyborgs get hungry? They need to eat? Please make that make sense to me. And last point I want to make out about this episode, which I found intriguing enough to make me say I want to see where this is going. Wendy is the only person who has a connection to either the xenomorphs or the face huggers, because there's this chirping. If you put it on captioning, they always describe it as alien chirping that she only hears. You see it in episode 1, I believe, where the synthetics arrive to the crash site. And she's the only person who says, do you guys hear that ringing? Nobody else hears it except for her. And it's the sound of the xenomorph. I think it's really fascinating. I want to know how she's the only person that hears this. And there's other things that happen closer to the end of the episode that really brings this question to life. Overall, I liked the first 2 episodes a bit more than this, but this was definitely a good setup for what's to come. I hope the next episode picks up the pace a little bit more, and I think the rivalry between the Prodigy Company and Weyland Yutani is about to cook up, because we now know that the new Yutani is in place, where her grandmother was the one 65 years ago who wanted these specimens. And knowing now that the boy Cavalier has every single one of those specimens, Morrow the cyborg, his only objective is to retrieve what was taken from Yutani. So I think things are going to get really intense in the upcoming episodes, especially the next one. If you guys seen the episode or not, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Are you interested in seeing it now? What do you think of the look of the xenomorph? What do you think also of this connection between Wendy and the alien? Do you like the development of the synthetics? The children that are growing up inside of these synthetic adult bodies? Do any of them get on your nerves? Let me know everything. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.